let's take a look at a few other tests that are common and related to the formed elements of the blood. A CBC is one of the most common tests ordered in a medical office. It stands for a complete blood count, and it gives a quick snapshot of what's happening with your blood. Think of it like a status update for your red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Doctors use it to check for infections, anemia, and other blood-related conditions. It's a simple test, just a small blood sample, but it can reveal a lot about your overall health. The CBC measures three main components: red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. It provides a total red blood cell count, along with additional details like hemoglobin, hematocrit, and other key values such as MCH, MCV, MCHC, and RDW. The test also includes the total white blood cell count and the total platelet count, offering a general overview of blood cell health. A slight variation of this test is the CBC with differential, often called a CBC with diff. This version includes everything in a standard CBC but also breaks down the different types of white blood cells, giving a more detailed look at the immune system's activity. The second test we are going to look at is an ESR, or Erythrocyte Sedimentation Rate, is a simple blood test that helps detect inflammation in the body. It's not a specific test for any one disease, but it gives doctors a clue that something might be going on, like an infection, autoimmune condition, or chronic illness. The test works by measuring how quickly red blood cells settle at the bottom of a test tube over a set period of time, usually 1 hour. Normally, red blood cells settle slowly, but if there's inflammation, proteins in the blood cause them to clump together and sink faster than usual. The ESR test is often ordered alongside other lab tests to help piece together a bigger picture of what's happening in the body. A higher than normal ESR doesn't pinpoint the exact problem, but it can suggest that further testing is needed. Conditions like arthritis, infections, or even some cancers can cause an elevated ESR. On the other hand, a lower than normal ESR is less common, but can sometimes be seen in conditions like sickle cell disease or heart failure. Getting the test is straightforward. It just requires a small blood sample, usually drawn from a vein in your arm. The results are usually reported in millimeters per hour, indicating how far the red blood cells have settled in the tube over the test period. We then measure how far the blood has dropped down the tube, so we read from the top to the bottom of the cylinder. While an ESR alone isn't enough for a diagnosis, it's a useful tool that helps doctors track inflammation over time and monitor how well a treatment is working. Normal ESR values vary based on factors like age and sex. For men, a typical ESR range is 0 to 15 millimeters per hour, while for women, it's slightly higher at 0 to 20 millimeters per hour. Children generally have lower ESR values, usually around 0 to 10 millimeters per hour. As people age, it's normal for ESR to increase slightly, while a result within the normal range suggests no significant inflammation. It's important to remember that ESR is just one piece of the puzzle. Some individuals with chronic conditions may have mildly elevated ESR levels without any active disease, while others with serious illnesses might have values within the normal range. Because of this, doctors use ESR results alongside other tests and clinical findings to make informed decisions about a patient's health.